I'll talk about briefly. So everyone kind of covered this already, right? Now, the main issue here, even though it's an issue that he wanted to touch her while she was passed out, blacked out, whatever, the thing is, she herself didn't consider this, like, it was bad, yeah, but she didn't even consider this to be like that awful compared to everything else, right? The main problem with this, for example, if Crazy Slick, this was like he was super drunk, he had a thing for Adriana Lee, and this was a one-off, he did like something dumb, he's like, I don't even know how old he is, like, in 2020, I don't know, I think he's like early 20s, and all these streamers are basically like high schoolers, like with their mentality. The way I see it, she was passed out, he tried to touch her boob. Okay, is it bad? Yes. It sucks. It's not a good look, especially in the public eye. Let's be real though, this happens on a daily basis in every drunk party with teens involved, okay? Pretty much. Every day there's a case, and you don't have that many sexual assault filings compared to probably how often this happens. Now, the biggest problem with this is how it was covered up later, and how they tried to isolate. Well, Slick basically tried to isolate her. That is something that he should not have done. All Slick had to do, first of all, not continue doing this. Apparently he did to multiple girls. Like, not this specific example, but like he was a creep to multiple girls. All he had to do is the next morning go to Adriana Lee and honestly apologize. He was drunk. He did something that he shouldn't have done. Would never happen again. Understand if she doesn't forgive him. Just be honestly apologetic. Nothing, and like everyone will forget about it, right? It's like dumb teens doing shit when they're drunk. No one would even like think, like, obviously in the public eye would be like, oh, he's still this. No one, like, this would not be that big of a deal, right? Obviously you shouldn't do that, but you know, people are drunk and kids, and it happens, right? The biggest issue with this is how Miskiff and it's 2 hours, I'm not gonna watch it. Miskiff was trying to cover it up. Miskiff defending Slick for so long. Miskiff underplaying what happened. And honestly, in my opinion, he didn't really underplay it. He said no one thinks this is such a big deal that he did it. And honestly, I would say no one really thought it was a big deal. Adriana Lee didn't think it was that big of a deal that he did that. First of all, she was passed out. And when she was told about it, she was like, yeah, okay, it's not good, like, you know, but she wasn't like, I'm gonna file charges, this guy's like, she just didn't want to be in touch with this guy, he's a bit creepy, but that was pretty much it, right? The cover-up was the main issue with this, and because of this is why there's so much drama. And honestly, let's be real, Twitch has been kind of stale for a while, so drama is good for Twitch. Even though it's very bad drama. There you have the Slicker drama as well. This drama, the double Slick drama, will probably be what it will be called later on. And very much attention to the drama, but yes, he should have apologized personally and privately to her as soon as possible. Yeah, that's literally all. This would have been solved that easily. Apologize, I was drunk, I'm fucking retarded, I'm so sorry. Boom, done. And that's it. Obviously, they can't do that because they're fucking idiots. And Miz had to go and defend Slick, and everyone around Slick was kind of defending him every time this subject came up. There's other shit that comes out about Miskiff right now, which, again, is it true, is it not? I don't know. I did notice, like, throughout the years, how Miskiff's personality kind of changed, and I wouldn't say that, like, I like him overall, but again, I can't even say that I know him or not. Listen to this. The stuff I watched about him in Korea, he seemed very douchey, you know. But again, he got rich, he has money, he's hanging out with chicks all the time. Is there an excess of confidence and self-esteem, inflated or not? Probably. Would anyone else really act much different? No. I mean, look at, like, probably the best example would be Justin Bieber, how much of a shitty kid he was. And now he's kind of okay. Because, bro, he was 14, became a millionaire. Like, yeah, bro, like, he's gonna have, like, a very inflated ego. right? It is what it is. But yeah, the worst part about this is the cover up. They literally pulled Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein? That's the one, right? I think it is, yeah. Yeah. They basically pulled the Harvey Weinstein with the cover-ups. That's basically what like people are comparing it to. That's really what the bad stuff is about. Him being put on leave from OTK is, I would say, part of the course until the investigation is over. I don't know Slick at all, but let's be real, I would say most of OTK, in my opinion, feel creepy. There's some people there's like, I wouldn't call them creepy, I would call them like maybe too geeky or whatever, but like some who's just online persona, I would say is probably creepy. I don't want to name names because like they might not be, there's just like how they portray themselves online, but like let's say this, some of them over sexualize things way too much. Some of them just like the way they dress and act in certain environments, and I'm not even talking about this like the streams that they have in the rooms. I'm talking about the streams that they have in public. The way they act in public kinda tells me to an extent, I'm like, I don't know if I would want to hang out with this guy, right? That's pretty much it. But again, is it still a persona for the streams? Probably to an extent, so I can't even say. I would say outside of Miskiff feeling douchey, there's two more that I think maybe have some dirt on, that they have some dirt on them, that is probably swept under the rug. I wouldn't say it's like really big dirt that's like whatever, but in the public eye, it would be a lot bigger than it should be. As people said when the OTK came to be, one was like One True Cult or some shit like that. And it probably is. The biggest problem is Miskiff was, I would say, one of the biggest OTK content creators. In the sense it's like creating for OTK, creating activities or streams specifically for OTK. Right? I don't know, almost like there are like two others that are like constantly doing OTK stuff, but it's like as far as like publicity or as far as like popularity, I'd say Miskiff is probably like the biggest OTK specific creator, right? It's like to the point where it's like Miz barely does, feels like he barely does his own streams. Like even his own streams, he refers a lot to the OTK stuff, right? So this is a big hit for OTK regardless, right? It's like he's a very main character. He does more content for OTK than Asfend and Asmongold combined, right? Asfend and Asmongold might be creating content like to do like create the activity, but as far as like someone who's like performing the activity, I would say it was probably Miskiff. And like and people who live, and also the other thing is a lot of the OTK people live with Miskiff, right? They live in his house. Right? So it's like I don't even know if I can call it his house at this point, but yeah. So I don't know. It will be interesting. I do wanna see the conclusion of this. Like, is Miskiff in the wrong here? 100%. I don't even know what the thing was with Maya was pretty much covering it up as well, but like I don't know. Yeah, apartment house. I don't even know what it is. I think it's just like a big house with a ton of room, like many rooms and shit like that. It's like an activity house or some shit like that. I don't even know, but it's like I know that they live in like the same fucking house. Like they go to each other's rooms like on regular basis, right? I think he has like 3 or 4 editors living in the house, so or something like that. I didn't understand how their living situation goes, but as far as I know, it's basically a streamer house. Like everyone there has to do with their streams. But yeah. Either way, that's pretty much the recap of the Twitch drama regarding Slick. The Slicker stuff is fucked up. Anyone who gives money for, I don't know, like the way I see stuff about Slicker, or like anyone who asks you for money, whenever someone asks you for money, be prepared to not get it back. That's my view on like when people ask me for money. Is it money that I, like if I don't get back, I would care about? Yes or no? If it's no, I'll give it to you. If you give it back, that's cool. If you don't, I will never lend you money again. But it's not something that would hurt me. when people say it's like, I'm like, you know, I had cancer, like money was already tight, and like he said he had people outside his house ready to kill him and he needed money, so it's like, I just had to. Yo, if this is money that like you can't part with, don't give it to him. Like that's the way I see it. It's like, money is just money at the end of the day. If you have too much of it and you can spare, sure. If you don't have enough and you need it, don't give it. Like, it's pretty much it. That's why I said, like, if you don't have any moral codes, you can probably be rich in today's society. Like, too many people like are way too generous, right? Do you know that, like, for example, in Toronto, bums make $64 an hour on average? Just have like no shame, go out to the street and ask people for change. Pretty much, right? Like, have no morals, have no ego, go out and ask people for money. You can make $64 an hour, obviously on the high end, right? Obviously now it's probably harder because no one really walks around with change, but back in the day, you know, like, making money, I would say, is not necessarily hard. Making money in a way that you would be proud of yourself of making that money, probably a bit harder. Or like, you really have to luck out. So that's pretty much what I think about the Slickest situation. I think it's like overblown. I think people are just dumb and gave him money, and I think overall it's a good thing because less people will be too generous. And again, as much as like people should be generous, I feel like you should only be generous with what you can give and not like sacrifice yourself and then complain about it. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much Twitch drama in a nutshell for the last oh yeah, sorry, and the 70-30 split. I don't think it took anyone by surprise. Didn't they announce that they're gonna remove the 70-30 split like months ago? Like, I heard talks about this. So basically, when they removed the exclusivity on affiliates, pretty sure they already said that's like they're gonna remove the 70-30, or maybe it's like they weren't removing 70-30 from people who already had 70-30. I don't know really what the thing is, but let's be real. The people who complaining about the 70-30 being the like the top 0.1%, bro, they already have so much money. Most of the revenue doesn't come for Twitch. They don't really have anything to complain about. This doesn't affect newer creators. Newer creators were not getting 70-30 as a whole. They were getting 50-50 at like at best, right? So not that big of a deal. This, oh man, this is actually a pretty funny video. Okay, I'll watch this real quick. There was like some cool, funny stuff, but it's like, I don't like this first part is like whatever.
Play Jesus Christ is my nigga. I'm not doing that, man. This is
See, this for example, I'm totally like. First of all, I don't care if people say the N-word, whatever, because I'm white. I don't have a say. However, I don't think it's fair for someone to call him out of saying the N-word when he's clearly reading it out from somebody else. It's like singing a Dr. Dre or whatever, like Eazy-E song from back in the day, and there's the N-word. Listen, it's part of the lyrics. It's not my fault that it's part of the lyrics. You're like, what am I supposed to be like? Like, whatever, bro. It's not a big deal. I don't think anyone should care when people are just like singing lyrics or like reading off from somebody else, right? There's actually a book with the N-word. I'm not gonna say it obviously because YouTube, but it's like there's a book whose title is something the N-word, right? It's like that's the book title. I don't care if people say it, but again, I am not the one who should have a say in this, so it doesn't really matter. I just don't think this is fair overall.
Right now, until the money is delivered.
Well, you tried to cover up sexual assault.
Kim is great at overhyping this, but like he's the thing is, it's like Kim says things in a way that are specifically triggering, even though he's not necessarily lying. He's saying the truth, but the way he says the truth comes off as very very provocative.
Whoa! Ms. Kiff, all right, covered this whole thing up. Told the girl, hey, you can still make videos with us, you can still collaborate with us, but allow us to make sure it's said in a certain way and done in a certain way, right? This is some fucked up shit.
The thing that pissed me off the most I won't say piss me off, but it's like the fake streamer relationships. Like, I don't know about you, man. When I go to someone's house, he has to be a pretty, like, good friend. He's not somebody I would go home and then make a video about. XQC being in Miskif's house so many times, you know, like people who Hassan being in there, like they're all hanging out together, and literally the next day they're all snaking each other. Right? It's like these are all like super friendly, super friends, they're super friendly buddies on Twitch and whatever, and like when they're streaming, and then they snake each other so easily. Right? It's so fucked up. And this whole thing started was because Miskif was going after Train for some shit. Right? It's basically what happens is like you have too much ego and you think you're so up here that you can just voice your opinion and there are no repercussions. Bro, like no one is at that point, right? Everything is PR. Everything has to be PR. Like you don't know when your downfall will happen. That's usually how it happens. You just like fucking from here, just fucking slam down. Train wasn't bothering anybody. He even moved countries to do his stream because he couldn't do gambling streams in US. He moved to Canada. He's not bothering anybody, right? And it's like, your problem of gambling in Twitch is Twitch. It shouldn't be the people taking advantage. It's like blaming Amranth for making hot tub, what's called in the ASMR streams. No, the problem is not her doing it. The problem is that Twitch allows it. That was the problem. Don't go after the creator that's taking advantage. That's their right to do. The system allows it, they will take advantage. Like, it's so... Like, I don't like when people do that. It's like, you're going after the wrong fucking target. Yeah.
In a certain way and done in a certain way, right? This is some fucked up shit.
Yep.
Do you guys remember Maya before she started dating Miskif? Like, did you guys remember Maya, like, on the beginning, like, she used to be so happy and bubbly, and her personality is completely dead now. Well, no. Her personality is not dead. What I mean is, like, her personality has taken over a person who's just like dead inside.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, because I don't really watch Maya at all. I don't really watch any of these streamers. I just kind of like dabble and like kind of like see them from time to time. But as far as Maya goes, I wouldn't say she's dead inside. She was a lot more energetic. That's for sure. I don't know, like, honestly, what I think Maya should do is go back to doing the stuff she loves. It doesn't look like she enjoys those weird streams with Cutie, the drinking, the talking about some stuff, whatever. I feel like Maya doesn't like, well, first of all, she said she doesn't like being in the public eye overall. Like, she didn't like streaming as like so much. Like, she doesn't want to be the center of attention. That's why, like, I think she should just go back to doing like what she did and really enjoyed, which was the animal stuff. And that's really what got her, aside from being with Miskif, that's what got her like ahead as well. Like, she was like the only, as far as I know, the only content creator who's like doing so many animal stuff, right? And when she does that, she's also doesn't feel like she's in the spotlight because she's talking about a different subject, and the subject is there, so she can focus the people's focus. Wow, Jesus Christ. She can change the people's focus to the subject at hand rather than the focus being on her all the time. When she's doing these Cutie Cinderella streams, like the drinking or the truth or dare, whatever, and like, even though she's smiling, it's like, I don't think she wants to like disclose a lot of shit. And I can't blame her. Who would?
Dude, Train is like,
oh god, this is the funniest one.
Every time somebody tries to hit him, weren't you gambling? Didn't you cover up a sexual assault with someone streaming my house? Oh, shit, get down, fuck! Train's firing back! Guys.
And here's the other thing, right? It's like, if Train has so much dirt on you, bro, the last person you want to go after is Train. Though honestly, at this point, I think they all have dirt on each other. If there's dirt to share, like, if there's dirt, they have dirt. They hang out together so much, it's like, why would you reveal your wounds in a pit of snakes, right? It's like, bro, like, the last thing you want to do is be authentic around people who can snake you.
Seer is a big time groomer. He fucked with a lot of girls, like,
You remember when I was saying that's like there's two other content creators that I feel like might have something that I get like a very big vibe from?
It's fucking weird. Dude, when we were friends...
I'm not saying he is or he isn't. It's just like people, I wouldn't be surprised if something came out just because I'm getting a very weird vibe from them.
Like, he was 25 and he was like dating a 17-year-old.
Okay, so this one, 17-year-old dating 25s is not new. I had a 15-year-old in my class that was dating a 24-year-old, and they're happily married now. I wouldn't say it's that new. It's bad in the public eye, but it's not that new. It's like the whole Carlson thing is like 19 and 17. It's like, bro, like this is a joke, right? This is like, you know, it's like whatever. Is it weird a bit? Yeah, like first of all, what do they even have to talk about? You know, shit like that. But it's like, I wouldn't call being with a 17-year-old as grooming. She's a year away from being from being legal. Okay, that's not grooming. Grooming is like 12-year-olds. That's grooming. That's like preparing her to be a woman so she can date you. That's fucking grooming. A 17-year-old is not grooming. Is it a bit creepy? Is it a bit weird? Sure, yeah, you can view it that way, but it's like, it's not grooming.
Well, that was fucking weird. He was literally going to...
There was the 16-year-old who was dating a 40-year-old, but like the parents were okay with it. Well, first of all, he was super fucking rich, so that's why. But yeah, it's like, is it weird? Is it kind of creepy from the side? Yeah, but like, it's not illegal. It's not anything. It just looks bad. Like PR-wise, it just looks bad. 1725, in my opinion, I wouldn't care.
At fucking high school's house and fucking her. You guys, if you guys follow Seer on Twitch, you're following a fucking pedophile. I'm sorry.
Again, very different understanding what a pedophile is. 17 is not pedophile. 16-year-old is technically age of consent as long as the parents consent or some shit like that. Like if your parents consented when you're 16, you can pretty much fuck anyone you want. Like it doesn't, or is like even 14 in some places. It's not like 14 in my opinion would be pedophile. Yeah. But like 16, 17, 18, I'm not saying I'm going after, like I'm a 30-year-old, I'm not going after them. But I wouldn't be like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking pedophile dating a 16-year-old. It's not much of a difference between 16 to 18, I'll tell you that much. Like they're just as dumb. Why would you date them? That's, I don't know. Like what do you even fight to talk about with them? They're fucking dumb as nails, but to call it grooming, you know, it's like overused term at this point.
Have him fucking try to sue me. You know he fucking can't. Because guess what? He fucking sent me a fucking paycheck. He sent me a fucking paycheck after I did my videos on him. He is fucking weird. He like asked for girls' panties and shit.
Can we just be...
Again, is it weird to ask for girls' panties? Probably everywhere except Japan. But, again, it's weird and creepy? Sure. Same with people who like BDSM. But guess what? That's not like that big of an issue. You know, it's like it's a kink. Sure. If she was 12 and you ask for her panties, that's an issue.
upfront and honest about this real quick?
Okay. What's
That
this?
should be
Oh.
investigated by Twitch TV.
Okay. This emoji signifies me standing with Adriana Lee. Sure. Whatever. I'm showing you my dick. I don't care. I'm horny. Are you? So here's the thing. She is replying. And she's not even replying in the sense of like completely saying fuck off. She is replying. She's kind of like, I don't know whose LMAO this is, but it's like she's still talking normally, right? I wouldn't say she's teasing him. I wouldn't say she's disgusted by it, but she's talking normally. This guy clearly is like going way too far. But let's be real. He could have sent up all of this, and then let's say him and her got together. No one would look at this as creepy. They would look at him as a player. It's like, oh shit, that's how you need to talk to girls. The only difference here is the conclusion. So using these examples, while she's still normally replying, it's not like, don't talk to me, you're too creepy, something like that. Like, she's not saying any of that, right? So, you know, it means if he says all of this, right? You're getting bent over immediately. Your hair is getting pulled so hard. You're choke slammed while I thrust from behind. GG. And she replies to that in not of the way it's like, bro, I don't know what world you live in. This is not happening. I don't want to talk to you anymore. If she's not replying like that and she says like, haha, that's kind of funny. Bro, like I can't even blame the guy for continuing. She's replying. I mean, yeah, it sucks. It's not a good look if you look at it like this. She's replying though.
Right now, okay? Twitch TV's like team should get on there and investigate every single streamer in this whole situation. Any streamer that got caught hiding a sexual assault allegation.
Look at she should write a fan fiction after like writing this. Again, she's playing with what he's saying. Look at this. Suck my dick pussy, if we ever meet you're done. On site, like you can take it both ways. Again, knowing what happened, it's bad. But if you just look at it as is, this means nothing. She's replying.
Or downplaying it needs to have their channels terminated, removed off the fucking platform. No joke. Not even kidding. They need to have
the over exaggeration on this. It's like, see, like they are taking this more seriously, like than Adriana took it. The downplaying is not the biggest deal. Him doing it is not the biggest deal. The context of that he does it often, the context of he kept trying to do it, the context of him not apologizing, the context of him then trying to isolate her so she won't have a voice to tell her story. Those are like the context of it is the problem. This on its own is just like a bit extra, but it's not, doesn't mean much.
Miskip has removed the OTK banner.
Like
Twitter banner.
And then nothing really gets settled, and then things just resume as they normally were, and nothing happens.
Yep. Here you have Asmon, right? Scene 1, take 1. So yeah, I think it's ridiculous that like Twitch hasn't done anything to ban this Slick guy. What the fuck? And then Train comes along and he does this. He goes, hey, listen here, bucko. All those fucking, people in your corner, you know what I mean? Fucking snakes. You know exactly why they're twisting these plots, twisting these words, all right?
OnlyFans girls gross me out. The stuff not for me. I hate it. Trashy in my opinion. I agree with him. Funny enough. No way you're switching up this hard right now. I would never date a girl with OnlyFans, I guess is all I'm saying. You do realize 5 minutes ago you were begging for an... Again, she's calling him out, but again, she's replying.
Hey, you know exactly what little man, set this all up, buddy. Huh, yeah. And then Miz comes up out of nowhere too, and he goes, Train, you're actually the dick. Like, what the fuck, man? Right? And then Train, Train comes, and he has like this little sleeper, right? He has the fucking ace of spades in his pocket. He drops that shit. He goes, hey, bucko, if you better not be coming at me talking that shit when you did all this shit to cover up this story for your little friend that did this little shit. Yeah, we're real weird, bucko. All right? You better...
Again, nope, no consent, dicks are ugly. Again, the nope, no consent, fine. Dicks are ugly, playful. Yeah.
Get this shit fucking straight. You better make sure that you're not living in a fucking glass house before you come throwing stones at me, bucko. All right?
Bucko.
XQC on the side, he goes, oh, shit, what? Look at that. It's just, yeah, get him, Train, come on. And it just...
His impersonations are pretty spot on. The voice on Train is pretty good. XQC voice is just the connotations.
and then Miskiff just disconnects from the server.
But yeah, I think the main issue here is the cover up and the lack of fucking Just taking accountability for your actions. The action itself, the action on its own is not as bad as people make it out to be. That's my take. Obviously, I mean, Adrian didn't think the action itself was the problem. It was literally like everything that came after was the main issue, right? I'm not saying she was okay with it. Obviously, she wasn't. No one should be. I'm just saying this is not like fucking as... this is gonna be taken. I agree with Miss saying like he didn't put his dick in her, you know, he didn't rape her, right? But again, how was it handled was really fucking bad. All it needed was probably like an authentic apology, and that's it. Just fucking like, just be adults, take accountability for your actions, apologize, and let bygones be bygones. But again, this probably happened also like during the hashtag Me Too thing, so maybe people overreacted and panicked. But yeah, silencing her and stuff like that was definitely like the dumbest thing you could have done. Putting it on, covering it under the rug, man, or whatever the saying goes. Yeah, probably like the dumbest shit you could have done. But yeah, it's just bad. It's like overall it's bad, right? Everything that leads up to it, everything that led up to this point is just not good. It's just like from a bad situation you made worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Like I don't know if these people don't understand, like they're living in the spotlight. Shit will bound to come out. People have been trying to expose almost every streamer for something since forever. Someone one day will. Someone will one day get a hefty enough paycheck to tell the truth about somebody else, right? If Train starts losing all of his money because of his gambling addiction, he will get paid top dollar to spread everything he knows about other people, heck, he might do it. I don't think Train would. He doesn't seem like that type of guy. He doesn't seem like that big of a snake. He only attacks back when people attack him. But I don't know. Like, you don't know what will happen when people get to a certain point in life, right? Anyways, that's the video. That's my 2 cents on this Twitch drama bullshit. I just think, you know, that there's a video who says that's like Twitch needs to grow up. As much as like most of the stuff there was dumb, I would say still a lot of Twitch streamers need to grow the fuck up and stop living like this is high school. Everyone wants to relive high school and stay in that age. No responsibilities, basically. Just have fun with your buddies. Hey man, listen, that's not real life. It's not gonna happen, right? It's like you have your small clique in your 30s, and like it doesn't really change much unless you move places to a completely different place. Then you can find new friends. But it's like even those friends that you like spend all of your life with, you might find one more friend at some point. But like having this many friends means you don't really have any friends. Maybe one of them at most. It's like when I was in school, right? It's like as a class, we had like our like friendly rivalries or whatever with the other classes of the same grade, right? It's like I was like, class 2-3 and someone was from class 2-2. And even though I had beef with people in my own class, when we had beef with another class, we all stood together. But in between ourselves, we were never friends. We just had a common enemy, right? And you can view it in that regard. Like, but it's not like you can say like I had 30, and we were a class of 35, right? So it's like, it's not like you can say I had 34 friends when I was a kid. No, I had 2 friends at best, 3 friendlies, and the rest were just people in my class. Obviously, when there's another class involved, we were all standing together, staying strong. We were all like friends. But like in real life, outside of that scenario, we were never really friends. I didn't know anything about almost anyone in my class outside like, oh, that girl's kind of hot. And like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, this guy's like a fucking weirdo, right? You don't know anything about anyone else. You only know about the people you hang out with outside of school, which is, let's be real, almost nobody in your class. You only hang out with 2 or 3 people, really, realistically, right? Or more like, even if you hang out with like 8 people, the reason you are there hanging out with those 8 people is because 2 of them are the ones who you actually want to hang out with, right? So either way, this whole like high school streamer bullshit, like these streamers just need to grow up and grow out of it already. Like everyone wants to live in high school. Unfortunately, life won't allow it. It's high school is done. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.